Bronze medalist last year in Gifu, representing the United States, 25 years of age. And next to her, the very experienced 31-year-old Irina Fedotova, a former world champion back in 1998 for Russia. The reigning world champion, Ekaterina Karsten, last year she notched up her third world title to go with 2 Olympic golds that she's got. She's in lane 3. Mirka Knapkova, who just gets better and better for the Czech Republic. Her best ever result in the Worlds last year when she was the silver medalist. Just outside the medals last year, France's Sophie Balmary in 4th place. She'll be 27 on Monday, so happy birthday, Sophie. Let's hope you have a good day today. And Yulia Levina, the second Russian. And, well, she's got close. She was competing last year and she was 5th in the World Championships. But if you go back to 2001, she was actually the runner-up. So, talented field, Hugh.
Talented field. Interesting to see how the wind affects single scullers. And there's Mirka Knapkova, silver medalist last year. Much, much stronger than when she first appeared here. Her first international appearance was in the World Cup here about 5 years ago when she was a slender 1500-meter runner. She's bulked up and become a fixture on the women's single scull scene. She was the heir apparent when the older generation retired, but in the end they didn't retire, and so she only finished with silver medal last year. But here's the champion, the absolutely outstanding sculler of her generation, Ekaterina Karsten Kodotovic. She was born, married Dane Karsten, and she's taken a length off the field in 300 meters, and there she goes.
Yeah, she'll be 36 in a couple of years' time in Beijing when she looks for that third gold. Of course, she was denied the gold by Katrin Ruchau-Stomperovsky, who's looking after her family and her fashion business. I don't think any chance of seeing Katrin back on the water.
On the contrary, Sebastian Franke suggested this morning that she might indeed come back and that there is a possibility. Now, that's completely breaking news from the newly appointed German news manager, and I have no idea whether he's got it right, but that was interestingly that he thought she might come back.
In a single or with Katrin Boron in a double? Because Katrin's also having a year off to sort out her banking profession.
She's sorting out her business.
Yeah. Well, Ekaterina Karsten doing what she does best here, to dominate, and she's trying to do that, but all credit to Mirka Knapkova. She's staying pretty close, and Sophie Balmary as well, as you can see, in lane number 5 there in 2nd place. But once again, we're here with Mirka, 25 years of age, from Brno, and as you said, has beefed up a little bit because she was relatively light to these women who were taking on. She's still light. We've got her at 67 kilos compared to Ekaterina Karsten at 82.
She is. She's slight, but she's been very athletic all the way through. She learned how to scull from nothing in a very short time. She emerged onto the scene and kept getting 4th and 5th places when the 3 dominant Nekova, Karsten and Ruchau-Stomperovsky were dominating the event. Last year she pulled up to 2nd place because Karsten was still there and won it, but she has been the heir apparent for this generation, and when they go, she will be number 1 for a while.
So there is Karsten. She's in lane number 3, way out on the far side there in lane 1. Michelle Guéret from Bristol in Connecticut, the home of ESPN, America's number 1 pan-American, I suppose you could call it, sports station, the equivalent of ourselves across Europe.
Well, she's hanging on quite well over there in lane 1. She's got the advantage of lane 1, but Irina Fedotova, world champion in '98 and in the quadruple scull for many years since then, although she's back on the scene, she's well back in spite of the advantage of sculling in lane 2.
Little bit of housekeeping. There was a B final earlier today. It was won by Sweden's Frida Svensson in a time of 7:47 ahead of Julia Michalska of Poland. Just emphasizing the improving Polish squad as we go through the half distance there. Balmary 2nd, Knapkova 3rd, Guéret 4th, and then you've got the 2 Russians, Levina and Fedotova. And Karsten, well, just looking ever so comfortable.
Quite interesting to see Sophie Balmery in second place. Sophie Balmery is a perpetual fourth place finisher. She's never had a medal. She's been around for years, but this last winter she's strengthened a lot, has set a new world record for the women's indoor rowing machine, and yesterday and in the semi-final she was there or thereabouts until the last 500 meters but couldn't quite hang on. There is clearly a mental block for her. She's got it physically, she's got it in style and technique. She can scull very nicely. She's got a huge amount of experience. She's done it 100 times, but never quite holds her nerve as they enter the last 500 meters and tends to get swept aside. Now, she's actually got 2 seconds and a bit advantage over Mirka Napkova at 1,000 meters. Can she hold on to that and lay to rest this ghost of fading in the last 500?
Very interesting, because Katarina Karsten there is just matching pace there with Balmery. They're both travelling at the similar pace. In fact, Balmery's just a little bit quicker, but really Karsten cruising at the moment.
She's at 32.5. She can keep this up for 1,000 miles, and she probably already did that this week.
But the amazing thing, and it's very encouraging, is to see an athlete like Karsten, of course, who won her first Olympic gold back in 1996 in Atlanta, you know, just enjoying her sport and as hungry for success as she ever was. She wants that third gold medal. She was very disappointed not to get 3 in a row by winning in Athens, but it didn't happen for her there.
It didn't happen, and that gives her the spur. That's it. It's extraordinary. People think, well, I'll get my gold medal and then I'll be able to retire, but all they want to do is get another one. And she's got a way to go before she can match Steve Redgrave, so she might be there for another decade yet.
What's interesting is, though, she really epitomizes the success of a number of athletes from countries of the former Soviet Union. And we've really seen this now. You know, here we've got athletes from Uzbekistan as well for the first time really at the World Cup, and it is showing that it was difficult when the Soviet Union was dissolved, the money disappeared, everybody had to start up their own systems, whether they were in Estonia or Lithuania, but Karsten from Belarus, she was probably the first and the most shining example of success.
Yes, and Belarus, they had quite a political point to score to show that they could. Now just watch this race, because at the moment Mirka Napkova is beginning to sharpen up, and she's closing on Balmery and on Kodatovic, and she is in third place, and she's probably will not get second, but she has closed this field up, those leading 3. Yes, Belarus, big team, kept the momentum. Karsten leading them, giving them medals, other crews getting medals, 8s getting medals, quads getting medals, and so they've kept the whole thing alive. 1 or 2 of the other states dropped out and have had to come back. But here we have a great race for second place, because Napkova is closing on Balmery. Can Balmery stop looking at her and get on and pull and finish? But Balmery looking across, she can see Napkova, and she doesn't know quite what to do about it. She looks a bit stodgy. Can she hang on for the last 5 strokes to the line?
Well, the answer to that is just about, I think. Balmery, oh, Napkova's really coming at her now, and maybe she's going to get her. This is going to be very tight. Karsten gets the predicted victory. That is a photo. That really is a photo between those two, and you were absolutely right, Hugh. She was losing her concentration, losing her focus, getting too involved, and
Czech second place and France third place. So it's exactly what she did. She looked across. Every other stroke, the woman was next to her. She didn't need to look. She could feel her there.
And not only that, Hugh, when you do that, you also affect your balance.
Sure. Everything.
Little break. Back after this for the men's single sculls, and that promises to be a cracker as well. Well, for those of you with us on